Welcome to PR Powerhouse, helping female entrepreneurs to get in the press and to gain PR. I'm Jo Swan, and I'll be sharing how to harness the power of the media to boost your credibility and business visibility, no matter what stage in business you're at. Because I'm on a mission to show you that PR is not just for the big boys. In the show, you'll learn how to reach out to journalists and own your place in the press, because you are ready to become a PR powerhouse. Hi. So I am back, and I am back this week with another fabulous interview. So I hope you really enjoyed the interview from last week, where I've started to bring in some of our incredible clients to share with you their PR journeys and to share with you their challenges and their experiences of how they've used PR in their business. Because I feel like I've told you a lot now about how PR works. I've told you a lot about how to play the game. I've told you a lot about the things you should be thinking about. And I just feel it might be nice for you to hear from a few of our shining stars who have really, really embraced using the power of PR and have really seen very direct benefits in their business from doing this. So this is where we're at. I've got another fabulous interview for you today. Today I'm sharing with you the fabulous Hannah McKimm, who is a client that worked with us on our program Dare to Be Seen, and who absolutely went from having no understanding of PR to leveraging it in her business. And she didn't only not have an understanding really of how PR worked, she also was really struggling with the confidence about getting her story out there. So this interview really shows you just how far she's come. And I would really encourage you to go and follow Hannah and to just be a part of her world, because she is a super, super inspiring individual. So I'm going to bring you Hannah McKimm.
Thank you, Hannah, so much for joining us. I am so excited to be able to share with people your PR journey, because it's a really special one.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on as well. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. You're always so much fun. I always get so much energy from you, and I think that's what makes you so good at what you do, is that you really share that energy with other people, your clients, to help them spread their message and get it out there where it needs to be seen. And I think that was definitely the case for me, that I definitely had a passion, and I knew that there was a need for it, but I didn't maybe just have the confidence to get it out there. And so I think that was something that you gifted me. Still is something that I try and tap into, What would Joe do? We need a bracelet.
Oh, I love that. Because you know what? This is like why this podcast even exists, because I'm trying to get people to believe that they can do it, even if they don't feel like they can at the beginning, even if they feel nervous and scared. And like it's a massive, massive leap of faith, which it really is, isn't it, when you do it for the first time? So that's so nice to hear that actually, my genuine enthusiasm and like determination to get more of you out there, like actually does pay off. So that was fabulous. So, right, let's start, Hannah, with a little introduction. Would you like to tell people who you are and what you do now? So how you would describe yourself these days?
Okay, so I am a trauma therapist and coach, and I support ambitious women who feel that they are maybe held back in their life and business by trauma. So I help them break those chains of trauma to help them step into that and step into the life that they desire, but also I believe that they really deserve. So I haven't, lived that life where I've experienced trauma in that way as well. And I saw how that defined who I was. I feel like now I'm really on a mission to help people really break that shame and that guilt that people can really experience from having a traumatic event, and in particular, sexual abuse and assault is kind of where I specialize. In helping women kind of break that ripple of, I would say, that ripple of
absolutely.
effects that trauma can have. So that's me in a nutshell.
That is what you are doing with your skills and your life and your story. And to hear you talk about it so clearly and with such conviction there is something that makes me massively, massively proud, because I know the journey that you have been through to get to that point of just owning what it is you do and the importance of it and the the impact of it. So you using words like ripple effect and breaking chains, like, yes, because my God, that is what you do. Like, and to hear you really recognize that is so powerful. So yeah, so well done for getting to that stage of being at a point where you actually really do recognize and value the work that you're doing, because it's so important. So this is what you're doing now, which is fabulous, and it's absolutely your calling and where you should be. But you haven't always done this, have you? So what were you doing before? Like, who was Hannah before you found this?
So I guess my first career, and I always find that funny saying that because I'm actually only 34, and I'm kind of like, well, I'm on to my, but I think I worked in the film industry previously as a camera assistant, and it was really good at the job. It's what I had always wanted to do when I was growing up. I kind of watched films and movies and thought, yeah, I'm going to do that.
It sounds super cool, right?
Yeah, I'm going to, I was like, I'm going to help people. I'm going to help people experience different parts of the world or different stories that they just aren't aware of through the medium of film. So I guess I kind of always had that desire to help people understand other parts of the world and other people that, maybe they weren't connected to. But when I got into doing that work, it just didn't feel like me.
Right.
People would say, this has to be what you want to do for the rest of your life. And I just thought, well, actually, I don't know if I want to do that. I don't want to commit my life to doing this. And then I was quite a creative person anyway. Through school, I would have done a lot of artwork, and I was always interested in how people ticked. That was kind of
the human behavior stuff.
Yeah, I was like, this is what I want to do. So I found art psychotherapy, which connected the two, and I did that. And again, I found it really, really interesting. I was able to do my own therapy through that and understand more of myself.
Yeah,
but it still wasn't quite. There was still something else missing. And so I ended up meeting Andrea Callanan and working with her and doing some coaching. And
she was incredible. Everyone has heard me talk about her till the cows come home. Like, I love her to bits as well. And she's been so powerful for me as well. Yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah. And I think that's what's so important, is that through my journey is meeting other really inspiring women who have that conviction to, to support other people and serve other people. And to own who they are through that. And again, I can see that in you. You really own who you are, and you're really authentic in that. And I think by doing that and being that, then that gives other people permission to do the same. And
that's taken a while coming, but I would like to think that I am now owning it. But it's not been an easy journey. Like, it is a journey, it is a process, isn't it, for you to be able to get to that point? And we need help. We need help to push us when we're in fear about things like that. So big up, Andrea.
100%. And even the group of women that I met through working with her, I'm still in contact with a lot of them, and just being surrounded by people that can lift you up and empower you. And, when you're having a bad day, saying, no, remember your mission, remember what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. And they give a shit about that just as much as you do as well. And that's the thing, isn't it? About being surrounded by those right people. So, I think totally. It's really interesting to hear people's journeys, because so often we just see the person that you are now, and we just say, oh, she's this, she's this trauma coach and this is her thing, and you just assume that that's always been what you did. But I actually think it's so much more interesting to understand that you've gone through like a lot of different avenues to find the right thing for you. And so many people do this. So many female entrepreneurs have this path because actually they're really into their own self-discovery, and they're really into that personal development side of things. So that's so valuable to share, because actually we're not saying I'm the finished product and I've always been this person. It's really interesting for others to actually take motivation and inspiration from the fact that, you don't have to stay stuck in one thing. You don't have to stay on the path that you chose. And actually, if you're really true to yourself, it's probably likely that you shouldn't. Like, there's something else out there that is more aligned for you. So, so I think that's really interesting to talk about. Right, perfect. So let's move on to talk about PR in your journey. So PR has played a massive part in your business, I think it would be fair to say. How did you decide that it was something that you wanted to do? And why did you feel like it was something that you wanted to get involved in at that stage in your business?
So I think for me, it just felt like the next natural progression from where I was. So like I said, I was working with Andrea, I became a coach. I was starting to do other trainings like brain spotting and adding to my skills. But I wasn't really getting it out there. And like people didn't, like you say, people don't know this stuff about you until you share it with them and tell them.
Yeah.
I just felt really compelled that I needed to share my message, but I didn't know how. So when I met you, again, just your enthusiasm for it, the confidence that you had in the fact that you had seen PR work for so many people before, and people like me who were coaches and therapists, how you'd seen the impact of that. So
yeah,
right, when I talked to you, I thought, yeah, this is where I need to go.
Because we can see it before you can see it. Because for you, it's a massive mountain to climb, isn't it? But for us, our little feelers are out kind of going, oh my God, well, yes, we can see how that bit can work. I can see how that can tie to that. We can see how that all makes sense. And this is where she's going. So for us, to meet someone like you is actually really exciting because we know actually how PRable you can be, but also how directly your message can really impact people that you can get it out to, because we've seen the direct response of actually putting stories like this out and it reaching the exact person that it needs to reach. And there's just nothing else like that.
Yeah, no, completely. And I think when then I got to the stage of actually getting the story out there, it almost felt like almost too easy in a way, because it was like, I got the message. I worked with you on like the bio, the media bio. I'd got that message, tuned and I kind of so that it was understandable for other people, because I think that's the thing as well, that within your industry or your expertise, you have a certain set of words or language that you would use, and actually that's not really understandable for other people, for the people that you're actually trying to reach. So to have somebody from an outside perspective say, okay, maybe tweak this bit, add in a little bit more, like you say, use these words, like these are really important words to use, own them. So we've done that work. Maybe not as much as we could have, because I think whenever I ended up,
we got fast tracked, didn't we?
It was probably only a couple of weeks after I started working with you, because the story, it was around drink spiking, had come out in the news, and I said, right, Jo, I need to.
An opportunity. Yeah, we had to take it. Yeah, absolutely.
So I think that's the other thing, is that you'll never be fully ready, but actually also at the same time you don't need to be. I
remember those conversations around that where we were like, oh my God, if only this could have happened like in 2 weeks' time, like we would have finished this and we would have finished that and we would have owned this and we would have owned that. But actually we'd got far enough for you to be ready, because you'd gone through a lot of the emotional side of it in terms of being prepared to get that story out there. You've gone through a lot of the fine-tuning of the language, so we actually were really clear and confident about how you were going to present yourself. There was only a tiny bit of kind of cherry on top stuff that we would have been doing in terms of just further positioning that message and some of the themes. But actually what happened was we got to do that in real time. So by having a real life media opportunity, well, several of them, we could take each one of those and we could think about actually, well, what's the right part of my story that I need to share in this instance? And actually, how do I need to come across connecting to this news article or this piece of commentary that I need to do? So I actually think it was a good thing, because we got to evolve that message and hone it in real life circumstances, and it was brilliant. Like, you came across so naturally, so well. I know you've had loads of compliments about the TV stuff and the radio stuff, because it looks like it's second nature to you, and I know it's not. So that's a massive like big up that you got yourself to a point of looking so comfortable sharing a really, really emotional, traumatic story for the good of the big picture, basically.
No, completely. And I think I think that's the thing. I didn't not have the fear whenever I was doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I remember you talking about the TV interview. Like, I remember that whole day,
I bet you
on the
do.
phone to Andrea. I was like messaging you guys going, is this okay? Like, what if I say this? And, really actually it was fine. But it just, again, I just needed those people around me to say, yes, you've got this, you've got this. And, I remember like in the TV interview, I've watched it back, and there's one point where you can like hear like a bottle cap drop or something. In that interview, I didn't even hear anything. And that's so unlike me, because I can get very distracted by things. So to kind of watch that back and be like, yeah, I was in the zone with that. And I think it's because my why was more important than that fear. I did all the right things leading up to it. I had my mindset in the right place. I did lots of grounding exercises. I talked to the right people. But really what it was I knew that what I had to say was important, and it needed to be heard. So
you were absolutely led by that mission. And I think when you've got a real example like that, so that it was in the news and there was loads of statistics, weren't there, proving that this is still a huge problem. And so you could actually see that you could make a difference by sharing your story. There was something that you could actively do to make this situation potentially better, or to stop other people from, feeling so trapped by it. And I think that is absolutely the answer. So, if people out there have got this big story, have got this big mission about how they want to stop other people suffering in a way that they have, that is absolutely the thing to hold on to, isn't it? Because when you are engulfed by that, it just starts to erase some of those. It doesn't erase the fears, but it kind of dumbs them down, and it puts them down the list, doesn't it, in terms of importance, because you know that actually this is something that you just have to do. Like, this is why you are here. So I know it sounds very kind of intense, but I can genuinely feel it from you, like you were just driven to get that message out.
Yeah, no, totally. And I think if you think of it in a trauma-informed like way, you've kind of got the fears, like these protectors that you have on either side of you. And then when something happens that, doesn't feel safe, they kind of come in front and say, no, don't do that. But I think for me, the more that I got in the media and the more that I said what I needed to say, and the more that people got in touch with me to say, actually, this has given me so much hope. This is, meant that I've been able to have this conversation with somebody that I thought I wouldn't be able to have. I've been able to get that support that I need. I've been able to feel like I can let this go now, or that I can see that I can heal from this because I can see that you've healed. Gradually those like protector parts just, they gradually come away, and they're just standing there. So they're still there, but they don't kind of come to my ears and mean that I can't do it, because you're kind of building up this bank of reasons why you need to do this, reasons why this is actually having that impact that you want it to have. I think you mentioned as well earlier that you kind of then can get in touch with your ideal client. It can really show them that actually, this is the person that I want to work with. And from the PR, that's what happened. Most of my clients following doing the PR came from getting out there and sharing it. So
and that is an absolute win, because, people think, oh, PR, it's a nice to have. Oh, it's a nice little extra I might have a little play with. But you know what? It's been an absolute major part of growing your business, hasn't it? And it does not surprise me, because when you speak so honestly and so openly and so directly about such a niche subject area, you are going to attract the people that need to hear that message. And that is, that there's no getting around that. When you open up and you give that information, there are people out there that need it and will instantly be attracted to you. So I just love that is exactly what's happened for you. I also liked what you were talking about there in terms of like, when you start to do these things and you get the positive effects, the fear starts to move further away. And I think that's a lot of that is around, providing like social proof, isn't it? That actually this isn't going to be something that is horrendous. This isn't going to have a negative effect. Actually, it's going to have a very positive effect. And the more examples you have of the positive effect of the PR that you do, then the more it helps you go on to carry on, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, totally. And I think as well, it helps other people as well, see oh, actually, she does know what she's talking about, or, actually, yeah, maybe she can help me. Because I also recently had an article in Planet Mindful as well.
Yes, that was an incredible piece.
Which, oh my goodness, it's just
like
amazing.
6 pages or something, wasn't it? It was like a fully penned article from you. It was brilliant.
Yeah, I think it was actually like the main article in the newspaper, because I know, or in the magazine, because I know whenever they were sending out their weekly emails or their daily emails, talking about the magazine, my name was the only expert name that they'd written in it. And they were calling me expert trauma coach. So
yes,
I need to add that into my media bio now.
Absolutely, as quoted. Yeah, and you were in the front, weren't you, with the little picture, and you were one of the experts. Like that, that just makes me very happy.
Yeah, I know, me too. And I think again, things that I've always wanted to do is write articles and share that way, as well as TV, radio, but to do it in print, and to give myself that time to really sit down and think about the themes that I would talk about with my clients, and actually translate that into an article, just felt really good. And it was good to have that excuse to
I think that's the nice thing. You've been able to balance the PR from sharing your story and really connecting with people that way, to now also sharing your knowledge, because you've been recognized as someone who is very worthy and very credible to speak in this space. And now the doors are open for you to now share knowledge about all the different things that you teach people. And so you can educate through it as well, which is just brilliant, because you get that double whammy now. So it can play an even bigger part. Now you've kind of got your foot in the door, and now you can elevate it and amplify it. So yeah, super exciting.
Watch this space.
Watch this space. I am. So just to wrap up for everyone, how would you describe PR to others? Because everyone has got their own idea, haven't they, of what PR is and what it means to them, and perhaps the role that it could play. So how would you describe PR to others from your perspective?
So I think for me, PR is that vehicle in which you can get your message and your mission out there, but also your passion. And I think we've talked about that throughout this conversation today, that actually who you are is a big part of that mission and what you're trying to get out there. So I think with PR, for me anyway, I was able to get that across as well. And I always say that, if people meet me in person, I feel like I come across better than if it's in an email or, text message or something. So again, just to get out there in front of so many people, to show them who I am as well as what I'm doing and why, I think was what PR did for me, and what I think it can help other people do as well. So
Fab. I love that perspective. Absolutely. So yes, Hannah, we are absolutely honoured to have worked with you. Like, so excited every time we see new content come out. So excited to see you grow and continue to just rise, because you've really stepped into this absolute power. And that is, I'd say you are a PR powerhouse. You have done it. Like, you have really used your expertise, your story, your opportunities. You took the opportunities that were there. You didn't run away from them. You faced them head on, and you faced your fears. And for me, that is a real brilliant example of actually committing to using the power of PR. So thank you so much for coming to share that with everyone today. I am sure there'll be light moments everywhere, and there'll be people kind of just reflecting a little bit on their own circumstances and just having a little bit of a think about, okay, maybe this is something I should explore.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. Everyone's got a story. I think mine is almost quite poignant in what it is. There was that defining moment for me, but also working with you helped me pull out those other bits and those other sort of golden nuggets that maybe I couldn't see. So, I think everybody's got that story, and I think for me, working with you helped just pull that out more. So thank you, and thank you for having me today. It's been so great talking to you.
You are welcome. So welcome. Fabulous. Right, we will leave you to your day, Hannah, but thank you so much. And I will pop in the links, Hannah's social media, so that you can go and follow her and see what she's all about. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
So I don't think there's any question at all that Hannah is indeed a PR powerhouse. And I hope that her story and her journey, which actually was very short, it was literally within a matter of, well, it was in a matter of weeks, actually, that she got herself in national media. We worked with her for a couple of months. But this isn't something that has taken years for her to achieve. This is something that has been achieved within a very short space of time. Because when you really put your focus in to making this happen, when you really channel your energy into opening everything up to say, I am ready to share this message, then things come to you and opportunities do present themselves. And if you're ready to take those opportunities, then you can absolutely accelerate your business as a result. So don't sort of think, oh, that must have taken her years to get to that point. It absolutely didn't. Yes, there's probably a few years prior that she had to do work on herself and her confidence and her personal development to get to this point. But the PR process was a very short period of time. So guys, there's no excuses. There's no reasons for that you can't do this too. And I hope you've really taken that from today's interview. Okay, before I just leave you for this week, I did just want to mention that we have also got running at the moment our PR Story Steps mini course. And this is something that is going to be an ongoing program. So if you feel like you would like to get a better grip of your story, if you feel like you would like to have a bit of help and support in actually crafting your story to a point where you would feel comfortable and confident in putting it out to the media, then do DM me the word story steps and I can tell you more about it. I can send you a link to the full information because this is something that we've created to really help people get off the ground. If you're a little bit stuck, if you're a little bit self-sabotaging potentially about why you can't get your story out there, we are here to help. So just wanted to add that in as a little aside, a little PS. Now I will say have a fabulous week and I'll see you later. Thank you for listening to PR Powerhouse with me, Jo Swan. If you want to feel empowered and supported and excited about getting in the press, come and join us in our free community over on Facebook at PR You Can Do It. I would absolutely love to see you there so I can help you take those next steps to getting in the media.